today in Rich in Relationship. We're going to talk about
what does individual and relationship success mean using technology today? What are the tools that you can use to ensure success? We need tools not only for our growth as individuals, but we need tools to keep growing the relationship. Welcome to another episode of Rich in Relationship, and I am your host, Rich Heller. And today we're talking about the commitment to growth, defining growth, and leveraging tools for success. And we're coming to the end of a series on screens, technology, and relationship. And like this is the grand finale. This is where we wrap it up. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself what growth really means? What does it mean for you as an individual? What does it mean for your relationship? The chances are you haven't. Because usually when we're married with kids, we are trying to keep the balls up in the air so desperately and so fiercely that we don't have a lot of time to think about what growth means. Are you ready to use tools like AI and screens to make that growth achievable instead of as potential distractions? I know that you are. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. Growth starts with clarity. You need to understand the difference between individual and relationship growth, and guess that relationship growth is contingent on individual growth, and individual growth, if you want the relationship to succeed, is dependent on the relationship. Are you carrying old emotions or beliefs that hold you back? What do I mean by that? Old emotions might be, are you finding that you're going from 0 to 60 when you should be going from 0 to 10 with your partner or with your kids? Personal growth begins with letting go of old emotions that are causing us to overreact and opening up the way to live our greatest potential, both as individuals and as partners. Individual growth is about releasing limitations, whether they be old traumas or emotions or assumptions or beliefs that aren't working for us anymore. Individual growth is about uncovering your true potential and taking intentional steps toward fulfillment. And this is not a case of you're just not living up to your potential, which I know I heard a million times as a child. We never truly live up to our potential, do we? We do the best that we can in the moment. And that is the fact. Does your relationship support your growth or stifle it? Like for most of us, many of my clients, we feel stifled. But the truth is that when you had that experience of in love that made you decide to create a family together, at that point, you saw the relationship as being a springboard for your individual growth, and you saw your individual development as being a springboard for the relationship. That in that moment, when you decided to say, I do down the line, you saw the future. So what changed? Some of your old stuff got in the way, but it doesn't have to. Relational growth is about creating a partnership that fosters individual success while aligning mutual visions and priorities. And we're going to talk about this today. We're going to talk about how do we not only foster individual success, but align our vision and priorities. And truthfully, I've never worked with a couple that felt like they were in perfect harmony or they had perfect matching priorities. And the reason for that is the more we grow individually, the more our priorities and vision shifts. So we're doing this dance with each other where we're both growing, shifting, changing. And then the relationship, as a result, since the relationship is about the two of us and what we bring to it, the relationship by definition changes. But we come to the relationship expecting it to be the same, even though we're changing. So one of the things that we need to get about personal growth is that relationship growth is founded on it. Relational growth is foundational. Personal growth is foundational to relationship growth. I want to say it the other way. But the truth is, personal growth is the foundation for relationship growth. And the healthier and clearer we are as individuals, the more we bring to the relationship. And I want to make sure that you understand, when I talk about individual growth, I'm not talking about that thing that many of us do I haven't met many people who don't. When after the kids arrive, which is where we sort of go off and we get on our own treadmill at work and we build our own friend circle and we're watching our own programs and doing our own thing and living like roommates instead of partners. Even though that's a fairly normal reaction to the overwhelm of having children, that's not real individual growth. That's or really what it is, it's not individual growth that contributes to relationship growth. That's individual growth that detracts from relationship growth. Because often what happens when we're doing that is we stop nurturing the relationship. And so part of the vision here is we need tools, not only for our growth as individuals, but we need tools to keep growing the relationship. As we shift and change as individuals, we need to bring those shifts and changes to the relationship and evolve the relationship. And that requires structure. If we just try to allow it to happen naturally, the tendency is to drift apart. We need to actually work at it. I want you to think about individual growth and relationship growth as emotional gym time. That's probably the best metaphor I can give you. And so what we're going to explore in this episode is how can we use technology, screens, AI, whatever tools you have, technological tools out there to build our individual gym time and our relationship gym time. And we're going to play with some really fundamental ideas with the assumption that over time, we're going to find more and more ways to do this. So I'm curious, are you using AI to its fullest potential for self-reflection and clarity? There are journaling apps in AI that analyze emotional patterns and provide prompts for self-awareness. Did you know that? If you go out there and just get a list of all the AI tools that are out there, you will be stunned. And I want to discourage you from getting AI therapy tools because they have limitations. And I want to encourage you to get tools that are going to help you to explore yourself and support your growth. You may want to have here's a great use of AI. Create an AI accountability buddy. Or if you use chat, I use chat frequently. I've got a number of sections. Create a section for personal dreams and accountability. And with that AI, you're going to lay out your personal dreams and you're going to create schedules for it and you're going to go back to it every day and say, this is how I did with this goal. You want to take a big picture goal and break it down into milestones, weekly milestones, and have the AI track how you're doing with that. And if you start to see breakdowns, which is inevitable, you can ask the AI to look at the pattern and explore what the breakdowns might be about. But what AI is really good at is identifying patterns and pulling from the wealth of information that's out there on the internet. These are the two huge strengths of AI. And so if you lean into those two strengths, then you're really going to optimize your utilization of AI. You can use AI for reminders on mindfulness practices, or you can use AI for personal development milestones, as I mentioned earlier. You can also leverage like other tools, podcasts, YouTube videos, books on, I want to say on tape, but that shows my age. Book reading apps. Like an app where you can listen to books while you're driving. These are all ways to use screens and technology to build yourself up. I can't believe I'm having a brain fart about these books. AI and technology can help you to grow if you lean into their strengths, if you use the resources. The trick is to start minimizing time that you're using playing games, minimizing time that you're using to watch mindless drama on screens, formerly known as television, minimize using AI to develop the illusion of a friend or the illusion of a romantic relationship, and maximize the strengths of these technologies. Similarly, you can use AI and screens and tools for relationship growth. Many of us when we get frustrated in our relationships, tend to go to screens and technology as a distraction, but we could actually be using it for shared experience and shared growth. Like on the most basic level, 3 or 4 times a week, you could be watching a program that matches your shared interests. I'll give you a personal example. I tend to be more of an action flicks kind of person. My wife tends to like mysteries and romance. And so we can find some middle ground there when there's programming that touches in both of these worlds. And so we do. We find shows to watch together. If one of us really doesn't like it, we stop watching it together and we find something else and we keep playing. Right now, the thing that's working best are murder mysteries. That seems to stimulate us both because there's enough happening there, drama-wise, to keep me hooked, and there's enough mystery there to keep her hooked. The trick is to find areas of overlap. Now, I will tell you that I probably wouldn't watch those programs on my own, and she might not watch them on her own, but together we can watch them and talk about what's going on. We can talk about, would that happen in real life? We can talk about, what did you think about that character, right? And by doing that, we're actually, when you're talking about character development, whether it be in a book or on a screen, you're basically developing your emotional intelligence. You could be using AI and or calendaring and or video technology in different ways. You could, instead of having a text exchange, you could be having a video exchange, particularly if you're apart. One of you is in one part of the country or another, and you're not going to see each other for a couple of days. You can be using calendaring, obviously, to calendar all those meetings that you need to have to keep that relationship going. Relationships or partnerships have basic logistical needs when it comes to paying the bills, dropping off and picking up kids, buying food, cooking food, preparing food, logistical needs in terms of connecting with families. You can be using technology for all of that. There are apps that are ideal for that, or you can use simple apps or complex apps. If you're having a conflict, logistical conflict, you could, both of you, go into Chat GPT and put in your priorities and your reasons for why it's important and have chat sorted out in the context of what else is going there. There's all kinds of ways that you can play with, utilize these tools to get your relationship more on schedule. And you want to be talking every week about what's coming up this week. Hey, when are we going to have dinner? Hopefully you're going to have dinner together as a family at least 4 times, if not more, because the studies show that families that eat together develop and grow emotionally together, that kids are less likely to use drugs and alcohol, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Relationships where people eat together are stronger. You're going to want to schedule that time in every week. You're going to want to have a financial meeting at least once a month, if not once a year. You're going to want to have long-term goals for what you want, and you're going to want to prioritize those goals, and you're going to want to align your finances with those goals. And you may even start seeing that you need to earn more money to hit those goals. And so through those kinds of conversations and those kinds of meetings, you can get on the same page, and technology can be very helpful in that. AI-driven apps can be used to track shared milestones. It can be used to drive date nights. It can be used for financial planning. There are tools to improve communication through prompts and reminders or thoughtful discussions. While AI can help with structures and tracking, true relational breakthroughs often require human insight, creativity, and intentional effort. All of our clients who come to us basically come because at Rich in Relationship, we can provide context, experience, and insight that AI just doesn't have. Are your growth efforts consistent or sporadic? Sustainable habits are the key to long-term success. AI is a great way to learn about habit building, to create habit building programs based on what's out there in the internet. You can use shared calendars to block out time for your personal growth activities, and you can use calendars to block out relational growth activities. By practicing daily habits like gratitude journaling, mindfulness exercises, end of the day reviews, individually and as a couple, you can promote growth both for you and for the relationship. And super important to celebrate milestones together. It's really easy with all this long-term planning to go, oh my God, we're never going to get there. When are we going to get that vacation home we've been wanting? We've been wanting it for so long. When maybe what you need to be doing is going, wow, we had nothing and now we've got some money set aside for this home. Oh, look, our existing space is so much better. How do you recognize and honor your progress as an individual? How do you honor and recognize your progress as a couple? Celebrating small wins reinforces positivity and commitment. Avoid getting lost in the gap, which is the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Focus on the growth, where you were and where you are now. And social media, let's not throw that out. We've talked about social media in this series a lot. Social media is a great place to celebrate your milestones. It is a terrible place to compare yourself to other people. It's a good place to privately share notes of appreciation. It's a bad place to air out your grievances and problems. Be very limited and careful in your use of social media. Growth starts with clarity. Personal growth means letting go of old emotions and assumptions to reach your potential. Relationship growth is supported by personal growth and supports alignment and shared goals. AI, screens, mindfulness apps, any of these and all of these can support your individual and relational growth, or you can use them as a distraction and go backwards. But remember that human creativity and effort are essential to meaningful change, and you need to come to the party with your creativity and your effort. If you're getting jammed up, you may need some human help. Technology is an enhancer of what is. It is not the solution to the problem. I want you to identify one tool for personal growth and one tool for relational growth to start using this week. Write it down. Talk to your partner about it. Share it. Comment on this episode. Let us know. If you like what you're hearing, like and subscribe to Rich in Relationship because there's a lot more to come. Next episode is the final episode in the series, which will focus on sustaining joy, prosperity, and connection through intentional practices and technology. And as always, if you want to reach out to me, go to richinrelationship.com. Thank you. Have a wonderful day and an awesome tomorrow.